Hello, everyone. Glad you're with us today for our August Power Hour. It's the first day of school here in Beaufort County, so a big shout out to the students, the parents, the teachers, and all the staff who are kicking off another great school year this morning. We also have another strong lineup of speakers for you today, and three very timely topics. There'll be public education, workforce, housing, and economic development, all critical pieces of the puzzle when it comes to sustaining a thriving community. As always, we ask that you please give us your questions, and we'll get to as many of those as we can to provide answers for you this morning. Over 21,000 students are headed back into the classrooms today in Beaufort County, and as students return to the classes, there are several key things on the horizon. Dr. Frank Rodriguez, the superintendent of Beaufort County School District for the past 6 years, is here to share what's new this year and also give us an update on the Hilton Head Island High School, May River Elementary School, along with several other things that I'm sure that are on Dr. Rodriguez's mind this morning. Dr. Rodriguez, thank you for joining us. We know it's probably one of your busiest mornings of the year, and thank you for carving out a little bit of time for us, and we're very, very grateful for that.
Thank you for having me, and it's not only a busy time, but it's a very, very exciting time. So we're grateful and happy to be here with you. Today we're welcoming over 21,000 students back to our Beaufort County School District schools. One of the things we're really excited about is we've increased our teacher salary. Beginning teacher salary is up to just over $60,000, and one of the immediate impacts we're seeing from that is that we have fewer vacancies this year than we've had in a while. And that's really an important part because we believe we're attracting high quality educators to deliver high quality instruction within our schools. And so there's a significant impact on that, and fewer vacancies mean greater opportunities for students. In addition to that, I'm really excited that our bus drivers this year, we've got all of our bus routes filled for the first time I could ever remember. And I think that is something that most school districts are challenged with across the country, and we're blessed to have all of our routes filled this year as we kick off the year today. Another exciting thing we did in order to attract more educators, one of the critical areas is in special needs students, and we added a 6% stipend to our special needs teachers, and so we've been able to impact the vacancies in that area as well. We've expanded our pre-K program, which is really important. We're going to get to serve more pre-K students this year than we have in the past, and that creates a stronger foundation for them and helps them reach their highest potential. And so we are just excited about that opportunity. You mentioned earlier about workforce and workforce development. Career and technical education is something that's extremely important within our system. We have great opportunities for our students through career and technical ed, and that is really a neat thing for us, because our students get exposure to a lot of different careers and industries, and that's a really awesome opportunity for children within the school district. And the other thing I'd like to share with you is, as you know, the construction on the new Hilton Head Island High School has been moving along, and that is really at fantastic speed. So we're excited about the progress that's made there. We know we're going to get a state-of-the-art facility for our teachers to teach in and our students to learn in the upcoming year. So those are some exciting news and components about our first day of school. We're excited to see our 21,000 students walking in through our door. We're looking forward to a great year.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Great news on the hiring and retention, as well as the bus drivers. So congratulations on those numbers. How about talking about challenges you foresee for the coming school year?
I mean, one of the things we have tremendous array of courses and coursework for students, high academic power courses, and that we're really proud to offer and our students excel at. I think in terms of challenges, it's just really making sure that all of our students are getting into those classes that they need. There's a high demand, and our students are filling those classes, which is great. I think the other challenge that exists on the forefront, we've been battling this after COVID, and we're moving the needle in the math area, and we had some success, I think, in the last school year. And so we want to continue to build on that because that's proven nationwide to be the area that was impacted the greatest. And so we still have some challenges in that area, but we believe that we're making some really significant progress this past year, and we're looking forward to that as well. So our goal is to make sure that families in Beaufort County have great opportunity and to make sure that the Beaufort County School District is their best choice. So we meet those challenges that we face head on, and we're excited about how we're handling those.
Thank you. Few questions for you this morning. I know you've got a very, very busy morning, but if we can keep you for just a few more minutes.
Yes, sir.
First question is coming in from Marty, and Marty is asking, would it be your wish to have mandatory pre-K for all students as some of the other states do?
That's really a great question, and I think it would be wonderful if that would be done. There's a state statute here. Kindergarten's not compulsory in the state of South Carolina. Now, most students do attend kindergarten, but it's not compulsory. So I think compulsory kindergarten would be essential. But I also think that you're spot on because the sooner we get them into a preschool program and we can begin to build those foundational skills, the better prepared they are as they matriculate and move through the different grade levels. So that would be great to see.
Next question's coming from Aaron, and Aaron is asking, how has the new schedule you implemented last year working out?
Well, it really has worked out well. One of our teachers are really great proponents of it in the sense that it has evened out the semesters in first semester and second semester. We have an even number of days in both because it was lopsided in the past. And so evening out the semesters allows first semester and the courses in first semester to have an equal amount of time, and they can cover greater material and greater depth. And so that has been a real asset. We think having those brief built-in breaks is going to be a good thing in October, and then in February, the couple of days built in there that I think is going to be really important. So far, we feel last year it worked out well, although a lot of it was unfortunately interrupted with weather. We do think that in the long run, this is going to pay off, and it's a good system. So we're looking forward to staying ahead and informing parents a couple of years in advance of the schedule, so they can properly plan their time with their families as well.
All right, Jackson is our next question, and he's asking if the students have made up their test scores, if test scores have fully recovered from post-COVID.
Jackson, thank you for that question. I love that question. I can tell you that in English language arts, our students have scored now the highest they've ever scored in school district history. On this current state assessment. We have been building and building and building and made substantial progress along the way. And this past year, we made another great leap forward. And so we actually in English language arts recovered very quickly and continued to drive forward. And we've achieved highest scores in school district history on the current state assessment. In mathematics, we've been building and building and building, and we are right about where we were now just before COVID. So we're right there, and I think this year we will surpass it. And actually, the moment we do surpass it, we're going to hit the highest scores in school district history on mathematics as well.
All right, thank you. And Robert is asking if you can give us an update on the construction at May River Elementary.
Thank you for that question. Construction on May River Elementary is off and running. We have gotten the final approvals right at the end of last school year and into the beginning of summer to move forward, and so that has begun, and we're looking forward to a great facility there on that site to serve that particular community, and it's going to balance out our schools in the Bluffton area that are really right at capacity. In fact, Pritchardville is going to be alleviated significantly because Pritchardville has been operating at about 130% capacity. So this will really help us out. So we're excited about that and completion of that project. And as you know, the Citizen-Led Oversight Committee oversees our projects as well, and that's just been a great and a tremendous asset to the school district when I instituted that, because it makes sure that it communicates to the public and oversees it for the public, that we're doing what we said we were going to do.
All right. Next question is coming from Liz, and Liz is asking what percentage of students are receiving free lunches?
I don't have that percentage for this particular year, but I think you're asking about pupils in poverty. I don't have that yet because we'll see how that shakes out over the next week in terms of the number of students. But what I can tell you is that all of our students receive a free breakfast and a free lunch in the Beaufort County School District. We have a program through the federal government that provides for that. And so that's every one of our students receives that.
Dr. Rodriguez, last question is coming from Ray. And Ray is asking if you anticipate a new bond referendum sometime in the near future and what it might look like.
Well, what we like to do is make sure that we're in a good position in completing the projects that we promise the community each time. And so I've mentioned during my time here that successful school districts pass bond referendums about every 4 to 5 years. And so that helps them keep up with capital maintenance projects and capital maintenance needs. As you know, the 2023 bond referendum, we were able to have that bond referendum without raising the millage, the debt millage for our community. And so that's really a good place to be when you can do that. So we're still early in this 23 bond referendum, and we're making great progress on, in fact, last night we had a report from the Citizen-Led Oversight Committee that praised the school district and the manner in which we're concluding the 2019 referendum and the manner in which we've begun the 2023 referendum. So we will continue to manage that well. And as we approach the fourth or fifth year of the second bond referendum around 27 or 28, we're going to take a look at our needs and our facilities and see where we are and see what kind of work we can do. We've positioned ourselves to try to execute on that, if possible, without raising millage, and that would be ideal. If that was the case and we needed another bond referendum, that we would aim to do that in the same fashion.
Dr. Rodriguez, congratulations on the report from the Oversight Committee last night. And once again, we thank you for being with us today. We thank you for your leadership, and we wish you another great school year.
Thank you, Bill. This is an exciting day for us. We love the first day of school and welcoming students back into our school district, and we look forward to continuing the high academic programs that we offer the children here in Beaufort County. So thank you for having me and giving me a chance to tell our story.
Your enthusiasm is contagious. Go get them today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Frank Rodriguez, Superintendent of Beaufort County Schools. Next, we're joined by Ben Brown, Senior Advisor to the Town Manager of the Town of Hilton Head Island. And you've likely seen the recent news about the workforce housing efforts here on Hilton Head Island, including a new partnership with RBC that's helping to move that project forward. Ben's here to share what this means and what the latest step is, what we can expect when it comes to timing, affordability, and who maybe some of the residents will be, what types of workforce they might be in. Ben, thanks for being with us this morning, and we're looking forward to hearing all about the new project.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you for the opportunity. Are you able to see my screen? I just shared it.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Great. This is a great opportunity because about 2 years ago, I was able to provide an update on the North Point Workforce Housing Initiative. And a lot has happened over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, we were in the process of working closely with a finalist from our RFQ and RFP solicitation to bring in a partner that could help the town develop best-in-class workforce housing on the island. And the property is located less than a mile from the school district. But this is a North Point site. This is the property that the town purchased from the DOT back in the late 90s. The DOT purchased it when they were developing the Cross Island Parkway. But it was originally developed as a commercial subdivision. All the horizontal infrastructure was installed, but it never went vertical. But I mention that because it makes it an ideal site for redevelopment. And to share the project scope, we've been talking a lot about this, but this is 11 acres of town-owned property. As we know, it's located close to the schools. It's located close to Island Rec, to the Boys and Girls Club. It's also an energy efficient, sustainable neighborhood with high quality architecture and construction. Last time we were talking, I mentioned that it was going to be between about 150 and 170 rental units. But we took a deep dive into studying the site, and the capacity of the site is 157 units. And that's a combination of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. And it also is a combination of 1, 2, and 3 story buildings. So it's very nice neighborhood scale. It also includes 1 apartment for the dedicated on-site property manager. So there's a 2-bedroom apartment on site for the full-time property manager. And there are also amenities and programming that prioritize the well-being and quality of life of the residents. This is a community building with high-speed internet, a pool, outdoor communal spaces, grilling, pavilions, seating, playground, walking trails, indoor and outdoor fitness stations, and community gardens, laundry appliances within each individual unit. But the reason I mention this is because these are Class A apartment communities within a Class A apartment community. This isn't what a lot of people envision when they think about workforce housing, but it's because we're bringing something unique to the market. And I've had an opportunity when I first became involved with this initiative to reach out to area peers. I reached out, well, as far as Martha's Vineyard. I talked to the Charleston Housing Authority, the Athens Housing Authority, talked with the state, talked with the county, and we're really putting together a unique model. And I'm excited that I can start talking a bit about the financing today after the announcement from RBC last week. But North Point is for the island's essential workforce. This is for teachers, first responders, healthcare providers, hospitality workers, and a whole lot more. But North Point is unique. You have to work on Hilton Head to live in the community, and you also have to meet income qualifications. And this is from 60% to 150% of the area's median income. And this is a big deal because this is true mixed income. And just to give a couple examples, 60% of the area income based on one person living in a 1-bedroom apartment is about somebody earning about $46,000 a year. Up to 150% is someone earning closer to $116,000 a year. And if we look at that as a family of 4, that's an income range from about $66,000 a year up to about $165,000 a year. So it is true mixed income. And at least 50% of the households will earn between 60 and 80. So we have income ranges. We have the 60%, the 80%, the 120%. And although someone could earn as high as 150, we're going to the next range at 140%. There are also affordability covenants on the property, and this is something we heard loud and clear from the community. But the community wanted to make sure that the North Point property stayed available for workforce housing in perpetuity. So although there is a 65-year ground lease on the property will be available for workforce housing beyond that 65-year range. But basically what that means is at the end of 65 years, all the improvements will come back to the town. And then it would be likely town's goal to then advance another housing neighborhood. I'll be about 115 years old at the time. So we're really trying to plan for the future generations. But what is One Street Residential's role? One Street is the town's development partner. Financing. This is huge because for the last 3 years, we've been working with RBC Capital as not only an equity investor, but also providing debt. And this is allowing us to bring forward a best-in-class, high-quality workforce housing neighborhood that doesn't rely on any federal or state housing programs. One Street Residential is also responsible for the design and permitting, the project management, the construction, the lease up, the long-term programming, as well as property management. So what is the town's role? The town provided project vision. The town is also contributing the 11 acres of land through a 65-year ground lease, $1 million grant with contributions secured from ARPA. This was the COVID stimulus money, the federal grant that the town received. The town's also responsible for zoning entitlements. This is the zoning for the property that was recently approved by town council. The town will also be involved with the long-term monitoring and programming of the North Point neighborhood. Another thing that the town has been actively working on is to create safe connectivity to the school campus. I've spent a lot of time on the North Point property, and although we're less than a mile away from the school campus, there's not great connectivity today. So I've been working with the United States Post Office for over 2 years now, and I can say that having actively helped folks develop and manage properties on Hilton Head, it's been a unique experience with the post office. Super nice people, but it has taken longer than a lot of us have originally envisioned. But we're making great progress to purchase about 1.8 acres in front of the post office property to provide really safe connectivity to the school campus. We're also going to provide better connectivity along Gumtree Road, as well as a pathway. But this is a North Point site plan. This is exciting. I mentioned best in class, but this site development plan has over 50% common open space. We have lots of amenities on site. We have over 1.5 acres of land preserved along Jarvis Creek. This is envisioned as a park, a dog walking area. We also have a yoga garden on site. We have a community pool, amenities, and a combination of 1, 2, and 3-story buildings. That's really important to have the neighborhood scale. But just to the north, we have Marsh Point. And Marsh Point are 2-story buildings. It's about 35 feet in height. So then if we just come south, the buildings located on the North Point property are also going to be 2-story, 35 feet in height. And then we have a combination of some 3-story buildings as well as some 1-story buildings. And I mentioned that because I talked about site capacity, but we really had to understand what would fit on the North Point property. And what we've learned is that the 157 units provides a really nice mix of 1, 2, and 3-story buildings. It also gives us over 100 feet of separation off of the edge of pavement on William Hill Parkway. So the property is set back nicely with a lot of trees. I love showing some of the elevations because it highlights how much open space is available on the site, and really great connectivity. If we look at this is my last slide, but it shows the 3-story buildings. It also shows, if you go over to the left side of the screen, it shows the amenity center, which has fitness stations. Behind it is the pool. We have the leasing office. And then to the right would be the connectivity over to the US Postal Service. But a lot of folks ask, what's next? Well, RBC as well as One Street, they would like to break ground by the end of the year. North Point is about an 18-month build. So what that means is if we can start construction by the end of this year or the early part of next year, that means people are moving into apartments by the beginning of 2027. That's about 14 months to release the first phase of units, and then for the community to be completely developed within 18 months. But this is an exciting development, an exciting initiative, and I really look forward to answering any questions you may have, Bill. Thank you.
Well done, Ben. Thank you for that update. Very interesting and certainly exciting to hear the 27 date as the possible move-in dates for the first residents. We have a few questions from our listeners this morning, and the first question is coming in from Kathy, and Kathy is asking, how did the RBC partnership come about?
Yeah, I love telling this story. If we go back to the original solicitation, it was One Street Residential came to the table with RBC as a debt and equity partner. And then it took a lot of due diligence before they were able to make the announcement as the partner. But it's been in the works for the last 3 years, and it was One Street Residential that brought RBC to the table.
Thank you. And Rick is asking if the town will be subsidizing tenant payments in some way.
No, this is a public-private partnership, but it is not a public project. So the town, any subsidies would be included in the land. It's the 11 acres to a 65-year ground lease. The town purchased the land from the DOT over 20 years ago and has a very low cost basis on it. And then the town will also be involved with monitoring the programming and making sure that the property managers stay in compliance with the covenants on the property. But no other subsidies. It's going to be managed by the town's development partner.
Okay, thank you. Deborah is asking if any of the apartments will be eligible for short-term rentals.
Absolutely not. No, that's clearly specified in the development agreement as well as the ground lease. No, there are no short-term rentals.
No Claire.
All right, thank you.
See to my soul.
The next question is coming from Lynn, and Lynn is asking if you anticipate a lot of clear cutting for the project, or will the view from 278 still be tree oriented?
It'll remain heavily vegetated. It was very important that North Point remain a sustainable and energy efficient community. And part of that sustainability is natural resources preservation. For example, I mentioned the 1.5 acres on Jarvis Creek. There are some beautiful trees on that property. There's one in particular, it's a 60-inch live oak, specimen live oak. But no, the tree removal is very minimal and it's within the footprint of the new buildings. We're fortunate that most of that original infrastructure was installed back in the late 80s. So the road's already in place. A lot of the underground utilities are in place. And when you go down William Hill Parkway, the development won't take place until at least 100 feet from the edge of pavement. So all of those trees will remain. But thank you for the question.
All right, Ben, the next question is coming from Laura. And Laura is asking if any of the apartments will be eligible. I'm sorry, I've asked that question. Laura is asking about if any of these apartments will be rent to own or pave way for home ownership.
The one thing I've learned a lot being involved with workforce housing on Hilton Head over the last 3 years is there's no silver bullet, and there's a multifaceted approach to workforce housing. And we've talked about the Bryant Road property, the 7 acres that the town purchased off of Bryant Road in the Muddy Creek area, where North Point will be a rental community. Bryant Road will be a home ownership community. And I think about my wife and I, Suzanne, we started our careers on Hilton Head about 25 years ago. We have a lot of our friends also started our careers on Hilton Head. And at the time, we had a combined income of about $50,000 a year. We paid about $900 a month in rent, and we were able to save money. We bought our first house on the island, and then we bought our second house on the island where we've been for the last 20 years. It's becoming increasingly difficult for folks to move from renting to buying on Hilton Head when the cost of rent is so expensive. But that's why we have North Point with the mixed income, the 60% to 150% of the area median income, so that folks like many of us can start their careers on Hilton Head and then buy their first home, and then can hopefully progress in their career and buy their second home. But to me, North Point is more than just the Hilton Head's essential workforce. It's also housing the future leaders of Hilton Head Island who can start to rent, then to purchase, and then can grow in their careers. But thanks for the question.
Sam is saying congratulations and thank you for working on this project, just passing that along. Then the next question is coming from Roger, and Roger is asking for you to talk a little bit about the buffer or setback and what that plan is going to look like.
There are buffers and setbacks throughout the site development plan. But I think when folks talk about the buffers and setbacks, and I think mostly they're thinking about from William Hilton Parkway. And from William Hilton Parkway, there will be about 100-foot setback and buffer from the edge of the road that will include trees. We will eventually meander a multi-purpose pathway through that area. But I think about the best example is if you think about the old Greystone Lock apartments on Marshland Road, which are now called Summer House. But that's on the western side of Marshland Road. And if you're coming around that, there are a lot of trees, and those buildings are set back quite a bit, about 100 feet or so, a combination of 1, 2, and 3-story buildings. But that's a similar look as you're coming down William Hilton Parkway, as the development is set back from the edge of the right-of-way.
Okay, a couple more questions. This one's coming in from April, and April is asking when the application process will begin.
That's a question we receive a lot. Thank you, April. One Street Residential will lead this process, assuming we start construction by about January, which is very likely. That means that folks will be able to move into the first phase of the apartments within about 14 months. So One Street would start the lease up process probably in the summer of 2026, in anticipation of people moving into the apartments about 6 months after that.
All right, Ben, we have one more question, and that's coming from Paul. And Paul is asking if you could talk a little bit about the eligibility requirements.
Yes, and we tried to keep this as simple and straightforward as possible. And I mentioned that we're not relying on any state or federal housing programs, which is really a benefit because of working with RBC. We're able to craft our own requirements that also meet their funding requirements. But it's simple. You have to work on Hilton Head Island to live at North Point, and you have to earn between 60 and 150% of the area median income. And those eligibility requirements will be verified every year with lease renewal. So say, for example, somebody moves into North Point and they meet the qualifications and they lose their job after a few months. They would still have an opportunity to find another job on Hilton Head, but they would have to be employed on Hilton Head going into lease renewal. And say somebody out earns the community, which is really the goal, to eventually progress in your career. Once you get to the point where you out earn the community, there would be a graceful transition process over about a 6-month period where you would eventually have to move out of the North Point community to create an apartment for somebody else who is also qualified to live there.
Ben, thank you so much. A very, very informative presentation today, and certainly timely. We appreciate the time and effort that you've spent on it personally, and we're looking forward to another update as we move down the road, a few months down the road.
Thank you, Bill. I love it. And we go back 3 years ago. This was Town Council's vision, and it's really exciting to be able to bring it to fruition. So thank you.
That was Ben Brown, Senior Advisor to the Town Manager for the town of Hilton Head Island. And now to close us out today, we're joined by John O'Toole, the Executive Director of the Beaufort County Economic Development Corporation. John and his team work diligently to attract and retain businesses across our region with a focus on job creation and infrastructure. John's here to weigh in on the latest. And John, we appreciate you joining us this morning. We're looking forward to hearing what's on your mind, what you have to share with us.
Bill, it's great to be with you. I see we've got a big crowd, and I'll try to get through the material. It is very fortunate that we're sharing the program with Ben Brown and Dr. Rodriguez. The work that they're doing fits critically into the work that we're doing in economic development. I also want to take a second to thank the Chamber for being a great partner. I'll touch on a meeting I had with Trent Williamson and Tom Hens last week. Bill, I also would encourage people to read the blog you wrote on Building for Tomorrow, Lessons in Infrastructure from Hilton Head Island. I will say as a leader, I take a lot of inspiration from your experience and the things you shared there. I'll try to get through my PowerPoint pretty quickly, but it is a critical time as this organization, the Economic Development Corporation, has been around for 8 years to refresh the folks on the program today and throughout the county on what we're doing. We still find with businesses that are locating here, our tagline, good for your business and good for your soul, resonates when we check back in with folks who've made the business decision to be in Beaufort County. Our vision, our board's vision for our work is pretty straightforward: to be the collaborative driver. And with that, we approach our work very humbly in hopes that our great partners, whether it's in education, in the municipalities, the chambers, education more broadly than just K through 12, but the technical college and USCB, as well as our state and regional partners, work with us over and over again to help us achieve our mission goal, which is to attract investments, good paying jobs, while always being mindful of the environment. As you know, in particular, I know chamber members know that hospitality and tourism matter in terms of revenues to the county, but also matter to people who are here 365 days. So as you'll hear in this presentation, we do our work in a way in order to do no harm to what we all love about the area. As we look at our cumulative results, we're looking, just updated these numbers yesterday, and in anticipation of this presentation, we've done 102 projects, and to date, our projects have not been opposed by any not in my backyard groups or environmental groups. So we like to think that our team, and we have a great team, thanks to the great work that the chamber did with Kelly Brunson as our senior project manager and Brian Warner as our economic development specialist. We have a great team, but we've been able to do the work, keeping our ear to the ground, meeting with communities. Last week, we were out meeting on St. Helena with some projects I'll talk about here. We've met with residents in Palmetto Hall and Port Royal Plantation, but we've been able to attract over 3,223 jobs, $849 million in investments, and while averaging close to $60,000 a year in compensation. With that said, it's great to share the program with Dr. Rodriguez and Ben Brown, but we do use this balance wheel that we've kind of created as our North Star, environment being number one, but a close second would be education. But all these other components fit into economic development, which we're charged with, but workforce skill development, workforce housing, and then transportation, getting people to their jobs jobs, students to where they have to go, and goods to where they need to be in order to support our economy. So I believe the chamber's weighed in policy-wise in a lot of these areas, and we appreciate your efforts. What is economic development? On that last slide, we show a lot of numbers. It's obviously attracting new business, taking care of the businesses that you have, but also making sure we remain a desirable place for people to live, work, and play. And it's not just about numbers. It's not just about business. It's about people. And at some point, we can tell you stories about people whose lives are transformed by the work we do. And that's what excites us about coming to work each day, is trying to make people's lives better. And you just heard the work that Ben Brown and the town council on Hilton Head's doing in Bluffton. They're doing a lot of great work with workforce housing. But all of these efforts not only are the underpinnings of our economy, but they are mindful and thoughtful about the dignity and respect and the quality of everyone's life within the county. So on a granular basis, we attract companies, we support local business expansions. Brian Warner meets with 90 businesses a year to make sure that we're not only attracting the new company, but taking care of the companies that are out there. And let me just see, my pictures are covering the image here. But we coordinate with so many people that time and time again come back to work with us on projects from around the state and our regional partners. And then, I believe I've shared it with many, but a cautionary tale was a business came down from Charleston to invest here, and they invested $14 million. They said, "Oh, it's beautiful, and we love being in Beaufort. It reminds us of Charleston 30 years ago." So as we do it, we want to be mindful of the scale of projects that we're targeting to make sure they don't outpace the infrastructure. While Charleston is nice, I don't know that we want to become Charleston. I think we want to make sure that the pace of growth fits our infrastructure. With that said, we say we don't hunt for elephants, the BMWs and the Volvos and the large OEMs, but those 102 projects really have tucked in without changing the quality of life in Beaufort County. And so we're looking to the reason why governments and even our private sector investors invest in economic development, create more jobs, better wages, hopefully build a stronger tax base and a more diverse tax base, and ultimately, with the circulation of dollars, build a stronger local economy. Our targets remain all in very clean sectors: aerospace, back office, bio, cybersecurity, defense, green energy, headquarters, and we're making some progress on that front. Healthcare, significant progress there. Insurance, financial services, light manufacturing, and then supply chain to hospitality. So now what I'll do is I'll just give you a flyover of a few projects that we have been working on. This project, the Classic Motors site on William Hilton Parkway, we provided some background information that hopefully will lead to an announcement in the short term of additional healthcare investments on Hilton Head at a site that the town and Palmetto Electric, through its utility tax credits, have done a lot of great spade work to prepare that site. Next up, this is a project, I call it my Willie Loman project. We have been talking about this project forever. Next Thursday, we're going to be before the airport board on Project Cloud, but this is a $23 million, nearly $24 million investment off of Summit Drive on the opposite side of the commercial side of the airport on Hilton Head. 51 good paying jobs under approximately 99 or almost 100,000 square feet under roof. So more to come on this, but we will be before the airport's board next Thursday at 10 a.m. If anyone's interested, please contact myself or Kelly Brunson for information on that. But this will be a great project in terms of bringing investors to Hilton Head and our region. Next up would be many of you look at Legends Brewery as the latest hotspot on Hilton Head Island, but we look at it from the manufacturing aspect. And so there's about a $3 million investment in the manufacturing side, 16 jobs related to it, averaging 46,000. So, and what is good about this, and it reminds me of the conversation I had with Trent Williamson and Tom Hens last week, is this is the former Graco space that sat dormant there. We know that the elected officials in Hilton Head would like to see not new ground plowed under, but really higher and best use reutilization of existing space. And this is a great example. We're going to work with Tom Hens and Trent to assemble a list of additional sites that could be reused like this one. On healthcare, just going to Bluffton right now I'm at the Don Ryan Center, and a lot of exciting things happening at the Don Ryan Center. Paul Arventites is the new CEO. David Nelms is across the way from where I sit, but they've got a great team here. But within a few stone throws of where we sit, there's better than $400 million of healthcare investments going on in the Buckwalter corridor. So very exciting. And for the town council in Bluffton, a lot of credit, good work done by Chris Forster and Stephen Steese to develop public policy that would drive and incentivize this kind of investment in Bluffton. In terms of headquarters, kind of a small project, you'd be hard pressed to find where CS Instruments is locating, but this is a German company that's locating its North American headquarters here in Beaufort County. We think with federal policy, we stand to gain a lot more of companies reshoring or onshoring in our region, in South Carolina, and our landing pads will do a lot to incentivize that. But this is a $3.6 million investment, ultimately 11,000 square feet and 13 jobs, just under 70,000. So you'd say that's a small project, but we believe, it only takes a drop to start filling a bucket. And that's how we've gotten the jobs and the compensation numbers where we have over the cumulatively over the last 8 years. And then a lot more going on in Bluffton. The Don Ryan Center and the town of Bluffton saw the wisdom in developing additional space here along Buckwalter. They're working with Tim Dolnick to build an addition to the Don Ryan Center. It'll be called the Cove. It'll have more business incubation space here. It'll have landing pad space here, so companies coming from away can locate here. Just yesterday, we had a California-based aerospace company that's interested in leasing space in the Cove. So we're already seeing success with that. And in addition to the 14,000 square foot building that's being created for the use of the town of Bluffton, and one of the Blackwitty graduate companies, a young lady, Akila Aiken, is going to open a daycare space on the ground floor there, which is another important aspect of wraparound services for economic development. So a lot going on here at the Don Ryan Center. And then as I wrap up, and hopefully folks might have some questions that I could lend some clarity on, we're going to have a program on September 30th at Hampton Hall. And we just put the invitation out there yesterday. We'll probably change the arrangement of the room, but we said there would be 150 slots. And as of this morning, we had 93 registrants. So a lot of interest in this. We're going to have a panel in to talk about really South Carolina's success in economic development. So we have James Chavez from the Power Team. And by the way, the Power Team's a big investor in that landing pad here in Bluffton. But the Power Team's going to be with us, James Chavez. We have Sandy Steele, who was a local and regional economic development. Greg Robinson from Florence, South Carolina, grew up in, don't fail me now, Palmetto Dunes. And we're going to have Gillian Frazon, who is with the South Carolina Department of Commerce, just talking and being able to interact with leaders, policy leaders, and elected officials, a conversation about what works in South Carolina and what we can learn from the success stories from around South Carolina. So if you saw that in your inbox yesterday and you're inclined to want to attend that, register quickly, because it looks like it'll fill up quickly at the rate we're going. And with that, I'm coming up for air and would be happy to take questions.
John, thank you for that comprehensive update. And I got your email yesterday. Certainly looks like an exciting group of speakers. And I think there are about 4 or 5 of us here from the chamber that will be RSVPing today. We're looking very forward to that event.
That'd be great.
Moving on to a few questions now. The first one is coming in from Rick. And Rick is asking, in an effort to support growth, do you see a need to throttle back hospitality and tourism on the island to make room for such exciting growth?
That's an interesting question. Hospitality and tourism is the best lead generator that we have. I think if you had a stock that was performing as well as hospitality and tourism or defense for Beaufort County in terms of policy, I think that you wouldn't give away a stock that performs as well as this. Now, granted, as policy folks, we have to balance that with what we love about the area. But I will say that within the Hilton Head Island Bluffton Chamber of Commerce, we have 2 investors that one is looking at making a $75 million investment in a 4-star hotel on Hilton Head, and we have another group looking at Washington Square here on Buckwalter that might be investing another $40 million. As we look at, and I live on Hilton Head, I drive around Hilton Head, I work here in Bluffton. You look at all the beauty that is around us, the way that the town of Hilton Head staff and the town of Bluffton maintain our area, provide services. That all costs money, so you have to have grand list growth. So I would just say we want to have smart growth, and hopefully for those of you who attend the prosperity event that we're going to have on September 30th, we can have a fuller discussion. I do think, and I always say that we need greater dialogue, more dialogue, so that people know what's coming and we can adjust to it. When we look at that airport project on Hilton Head, obviously that's going to attract people who have their own jets. But the policy for Hilton Head Council was greatly informed by communities we had in Palmetto Hall and Port Royal Plantation. So we have to have a lot of dialogue to make sure we don't miss the mark. But I think short answer is hospitality and tourism is a excellent performing stock, and I don't think you'd sell it. You'd keep it and invest in it.
Thank you, John. Next question is coming from Kim. And Kim is asking, with the explosive growth of Hardeeville and Jasper County, how can we compete from a workforce perspective?
Well, I think I noticed Harry Williams was on the call, Dan Wood's on the call, Tammy Becker's on the call, and I forget if I'm forgetting somebody. I just looked at it quickly before I spoke. What each of the towns are doing, address that. It's going to put more pressure on employers to treat employees well, to have good programs. But that area is going to do quite well. I think where we are today, and having heard Frank Rodriguez just speak, where we are with our school system is going to continue to make us desirable for young families. But we have to be mindful of that the Hyundai plant's opening just north of Savannah or west of Savannah. I'm a little geographically challenged when it comes to that, but there's all sorts of pressure. So employers have to respond to that. You can't put your head in the sand. We have to be mindful of what it's going to take to house, to inspire employees to want to work in our organization. So.
All right, thank you for that. You mentioned Harry Williams, Mayor Williams. We're getting a question from James, and James asking if there will be any side effects, benefits from Buc-ee's locating in Jasper County.
Obviously, people with engineering degrees are going to have to figure out what that will do to traffic at Exit 8. I'm sure that they're going to do a lot of studies on that. Yeah, I would say it's a little outside of my expertise or purview, but sometimes we work with projects and people grouse that they have to do traffic studies. But as that project, I've only been to Buc-ee's once in my life up near Florence, South Carolina. Or Manning. But I would say that obviously they are a tremendous traffic generator. I occasionally go off island on Saturday and then try to get back on island on Saturday. It's challenging. So our traffic studies are going to have to be really good.
Okay, Robert is asking, what are your top 3 target industries?
I would say value added industries like CS Instruments coming to Bluffton, headquarter projects, manufacturing, service, and then even supply chain to hospitality. So if we see breweries or any kind of food processing across the county, I had an interesting couple of meetings, but we're looking at county-wide land-based fisheries and some agricultural projects for the north side of the county. But I would say in Hilton Head and Bluffton, and I often say that Beaufort County is like being the father of 4 or 5 kids that have very different interests. So on Hilton Head, it'll be infill, a lot of new developments going on in Bluffton. But I would say back office operations, headquarters, clean manufacturing or servicing. We have a machine shop off of Finch Street on Hilton Head. It's a good example of where the local resident has an interest in an industry and they're doing quite well. When you look at the very niche manufacturing that we have throughout both Hilton Head and Bluffton, we'll look to do more of that. But these are our targets. Truth is, we don't really determine the marketplace. Those tourists that come here and then decide, why the heck am I going back to Cleveland or Detroit, Rochester, or Hartford? Why don't I just have my operation down here? So we'll continue to treat people well. And if the industry isn't in harmony with what our residents expect, we refer them to regional communities that they'd be better suited for. But these will continue to be our targets.
All right, John, 2 more questions for you this morning. And next one's coming from Susan. And Susan's asking, she's saying, we've seen healthcare expansion in Bluffton, and she's asking if you anticipate more.
It's interesting because they changed the licensing for locating healthcare in different locations in South Carolina. So the guardrails or the restraints are coming off. As we sit here and Novant's looking to hire 1,000 people, Buford Memorial's looking to hire nearly 200 within a stone's throw of where we sit. MUSC is building 50,000 square feet very close to where we sit. There'll be some announcements coming out on Hilton Head, more healthcare. I do think we'll continue to see it. If you've heard Joel Taylor or Russell Baxley speak, there are certain specialties. Neurologist is one that we've heard a lot of. So I think there'll continue to be investments in healthcare. The way I look at it is Beaufort County has a very discerning clientele, and they're going to demand the best healthcare. So I think it will precipitate more investments.
All right, John. And lastly, just remind the group one more time on your Prosperity and Practice event on September 30th, where they could go to register for that.
Oh gosh, that's a tough question, but here it is. Register online, thrivebuford.org. That is our website. You can get a lot of information there, but this event, September 30th, it'll go from 8 a.m. to 11:30, and it'll be a great program to hear how other areas are doing economic development so well in South Carolina. And while these are our friends and colleagues of ours, we think we'll learn a lot from the dialogue that will occur. And we expect it'll be very interactive with the public as well.
And John, before I let you go, I've got to congratulate you, although a little bit early. I know in October you'll be celebrating your 8th year running the Beaufort County Economic Development Corporation. So congratulations on that milestone that's coming very, very soon.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate your support and getting me this far.
All right. We look forward to your next update. And again, thanks to all of our speakers, Dr. Rodriguez, Ben Brown, and John O'Toole for their insights this morning. We're certainly appreciative of their time and their knowledge and information they share with us. We're also heading into the final stretch of the vacation season with Labor Day just right around the corner. And as we all know, tourism is our economic driver. It's our economic engine. And we're grateful to all of you who help make the Lowcountry a welcoming place for residents and visitors alike. So thank you for that. We'll be back next month with timely updates and important conversations. But in the meantime, stay tuned through the Chamber's website, on social media for events and what's happening in the Lowcountry. Make it a great day and a great rest of your week. Thank you very much for tuning in today. We'll see you soon.